All right, well, this is part 2 of that video. My wife was nice enough to open the door and wave at me, and I thought she was telling me to stop, which could easily happen too. So anyway, where the heck was I? Oh yeah, I was going to go on and start it with the G up to the E. And we'll get our G again. It comes into my mind second. The first note that comes into my mind isn't that note. I don't know what the deal is there. Anyway. See, it bounces. I don't want that bounce. I'm not quite getting down to the old note, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, so what's next? I got to move my notes here in place. And you would think after having done this hundreds of times, there was a period of time when I was doing this every day, and it really made a difference. It made a difference, and I stopped. So anyway, the next thing to do is to do the pedals, okay? And how we do them, I'll probably stop after brush tonguing on this video, and then I'll try to do the second page before I go on to something else. Anyway, these are single and double pedals. And the first one, you just play the note to get it. I don't want that bounce. And then I play the first pedal, and I try to do it with the fingering of the note I just played. So I'll try it again. And the air has to be absolutely steady for this to have any chance. Now there it was. And it seems to me like it's a little flat, but I'll take it. Let's try again. There's a certain way that my lip could be that will give me that note. Okay, now the double pedal, where I put my upper lip in here and just use it to buzz the note. So let's get our pitch. Okay, so that's not a bad one. That's much better than yesterday. So progress, not perfection, but you have to make some progress. So no point in doing it if you don't see any difference. And of course, as musicians doing this every day, we don't really see the small or hear the small improvements. Now, in this particular case, I probably will be able to continue to hear them because I suck so much after not playing for so long. So there's a long way to come back here, and so far I'm not discouraged. I was able to play 8 or 12 measures yesterday in a row on a solo and not completely lose it, even though I have to be careful because I have no range. Enough crying. Here we go. Next one. Now, Hal would say, once you're able to hear the note, then try to make it louder. And I'm doing that. It goes away quickly. But over time, it probably will get better. As I said yesterday, Hal Graham could play a double pedal note that would take the roof off. I mean, like the loudest trombone you ever heard. I never did that, but I didn't do it that long. Okay, that's way flat, but that's okay. You can see there's a lot of futzing around to try to find that lowest note, which I don't think is a problem. No bounce. Now that one came out. The B flat didn't, so who knows? It's like the double pedal is on this little point, and you have to find that point. I don't know that my hand shaking is helping this, but it doesn't seem to be destroying it. A flat. Now, can you hear how nice that sounds? To me, it sounds nice. It sounds brilliant. Sounds like a nice core to that, and that's totally because of the pedals. I'll show you something at the end what might help, might illustrate that, or maybe not. Let's see. Now that's a loud low G. That's as loud as I would ever have to play one. Because if they need it louder than that, they need to give it to the trombones or somebody else. So if I have that loud of a low G with that kind of tone, it's valuable. It's valuable, especially for someone who plays a lot of, or did play a lot of fourth trumpet, low trumpet parts, where one of the hidden secrets of playing fourth trumpet is that you have the first trumpet player's future in your hands. Because all you have to do to ruin it, first trumpet player, is play a little sharp. Play a little sharp. And there's no lipping up on the trumpet, or virtually none. And so it's crucial that the third and fourth trumpet players, and fifth if there is one, play with a good tone and some volume, and also in tune. I was very fortunate to play for a while with Jerry Cale, who I don't know that anyone here would know him anymore, but very great lead trumpet player. Played with lead trumpet with Count Basie, and this is a white guy, and that just, he's the only one I know of. Duffy Jackson played there, and there was no racism. They just, you know, I think that those bands hired who the best they could find. And that's my opinion on it. And some of them were more integrated than others. Louis Bellson played with Duke Ellington, and so forth. So anyway, Jerry Cale, I'm telling a story here. Jerry used to compliment me in the band we played in, because he said, you play the fourth parts with balls. You play them loud. And sorry for the sexual, but that's what he said. And to him, that meant more than saying it some other way. He's long gone now. He died many years ago, but fantastic, strong lead trumpet player that he demanded that we play under him and support him. And that was a very valuable lesson for me. That playing the fourth trumpet part is valuable, and literally you can make the first trumpet player sound good or bad, and no one will know why, because you can't hear the fourth trumpet part if you're in the audience. So my deal was always to try to support the first player, and I never was the first player, very rarely, and especially later. Play the part underneath the first player with the same articulation as the first player, the same cutoffs as the first player, all of it the same as the first player, except that the first player sometimes gets to hang over on a high note at the end. And you better not do hang over on your low G on the fourth trumpet, because then they will hear the fourth trumpet, and that's something that isn't always good. I don't know if any of you are old enough to know about Pete Barbuti. Pete Barbuti was a comedian and a trumpet player, actually, and certainly found out that there was more money in comedy than there was in fourth trumpet, even though there's quite a bit of commonality between the two. So he would go on The Tonight Show or whatever at the time. This was Johnny Carson. That's how long ago it was. And he would, one of his routines was to be the fourth trumpet player in a band. So he brought out a chair and a trumpet stand and music on a stand. And then he sat down in his chair as if there was a band around him, and then played what he would have played in that band from that fourth trumpet part. And my God, it's so funny. I've been there, hundreds of times, and yet it's funny to hear how unmusical and boring and degrading many fourth trumpet parts are. I mean, and if there isn't a fourth trumpet part, here's the first trumpet part. Play it down an octave. Okay, that happens a lot. If you're good at it, you can make the first trumpet part sound even better if you're good at doing this. So Pete Barbuti would play, and he'd have his trumpet on his knee or even on his stand, and then pick it up and put it on his knee, and he's counting along, and all of a sudden he takes up something and he goes, and puts it back down. That's the fourth trumpet part. What's the name of the song? Geez, who knows? Could be anything. The fourth trumpet part has very little bearing or very little connection to the original tune, except that in many cases the notes you're going to play are in the chords of the tune. So, boy, that was a long diversion. I'm sorry. This is to all you fourth trumpet players, if there are any more left. Take heart. You're valuable. You're valid. You're valid. That's a word we use a lot today. Make America Magoo. Again, I mean, I loved it when it was Magoo. And then all of a sudden we got off the Magoo path. Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh, fourth trumpet. So it's, Jerry Cale would always compliment me, and he did it many times. I think it was important to him to have players under him that supported him. And I will tell you one Jerry Cale story that is a very funny one, at least it was to me at the time. He said he was in a band, and he was with two other great high note trumpet players. Maynard was one of them, and he was one of them. And I've lost track of who the other is. And I want to say Gazzo, but that doesn't really make sense. He wasn't really a screen player, I don't think, although he's a great lead player, one of the best. But somebody, that was known for playing high notes. And he said, this is as I remember it. And it doesn't even sound like it would happen in a piece of music, but this is what Jerry said, and it's a good story even if it's not true. He said at the end of a tune in this band that they were in, Maynard was on a double high C, and Jerry was on the A below that, and the other high note player was on the F below that. These are all above high C, so this doesn't really make sense to me. Why would you do that in a piece of music? But it has to be that way for this story to make sense. So he said they're playing this note, and the director or the leader is holding it, that old thing. And he said they were playing, kind of getting to the end of their consciousness, as it turns out, and the guy that was playing the low F, above high C, passed out. And they hear this clunk, and there he's down. This can happen on trumpet. You somehow you cut off the oxygen here, and it's gone. And lead trumpet players have this problem occasionally. So he said he heard the third trumpet player go down, and he's still playing an A. I mean, I can't imagine playing an A, but he's playing an A, and then he lost consciousness. And he said to me, as he's going down and he's trying to make it so his horn doesn't land before him, so make the horn land. He's trying to fall so that he can protect his horn. He looks up and he's listening, and Maynard is still playing the double high C, which was above the other two guys. So that's my Jerry Cale story, and thank you, Jerry. We played in some rehearsal bands. I don't think I ever did a gig with him. He was retired when he came here. And he played in a couple of bands that just were so improved by him being there. Not just his playing, but what he would say and how he would act and how he would react to certain situations. For instance, someone coming in late. Even on a rehearsal band, somebody like Jerry Cale would just not let it stand. He wouldn't. He'd get in the guy's face and say, you know, what are you doing? Anyway, it's respect for the music is what he was espousing. Okay, so enough of that. Now I have to continue down my pedals. I think I was to a G. And now I've lost the oomph on the low note because I haven't been doing this for a minute. Now that's the regular note. I've got to do 2 pedals below that. May not get it. I don't know that I'm going to get it. I think I stopped too long and talked. But we're going to keep going. Almost. It's almost like a focusing of the air to a certain spot that will make it the buzz. Well, I heard it just for a second there. There's the low note. And that one, for me, was easier than the regular pedal. That's a single pedal. Okay, now we've gone down to the low F sharp. And now we're going to do a little playing around down there, as if it's music. Okay? F sharp seems to pop right out, and the notes before it don't. So we're trying to fill in those gaps to make it be able to play from one note to the other legato without losing the pitch. Pretty much maintain the pitch. So we go up and down, and I've got on the page here in front of me triads. And that would have been down to a triple pedal C, which I don't even think Hal saw much value with. But okay, so what happens is that after doing this, so that's a low double pedal C. It is pretty loud. Now let's play a high C. Okay, so awful, really, but that's the first high C I've played in maybe 8 years. And if I try it again right now, I won't be able to do it. Somehow the double pedal sets this up. And when I'm in shape, and that high C that I play after playing the double pedals is the loudest high C that I could play and I would ever want to play. But the effect goes away quickly, and then you have to move on. But Hal would always demonstrate that and have me do it, saying, you know, this is where we're going. Sooner or later, this high C is going to be your high C and more. So just do what I say, and I try. Anyway, this is brush tongue on a G. Okay, and if you remember, that's where we try to brush the top of the mouth with the tongue lightly enough so that the tone has a dent in it. Rather than we don't want the tone to stop when we do this. And it's not easy, right? And this time I'm going to go down. Yesterday I went up, which is, let's say, I don't want the bounce. I forgot this part. 4, 2. last one. Okay, that's good enough for now. Bonsai Anonymous out.